everyone. Thank you for such a lovely, warm welcome. It's really lovely to be here. We're here to talk about AI in radio and how that affects us. And in radio, we like to pride ourselves. We think that radio, we have a lot of trust and connection with our audience. And AI obviously interests us because we think it's here now, it's not going anywhere. How do we work best with AI? How does AI work for us? How do we maintain a relationship and trust with our listeners who, do trust us if you're a good established brand? And how do, they need to know what they're listening to, whether it's the real Drake or the Weeknd, or whether, what is going on. And so that's what we would love to talk about today. Shana, start with you. How do we bring new technology into the world of audio and still retain this trust that broadcast radio brings?
Yes, well, I think it's important to say first that we're using AI already every day in what we do. So, we've got a podcast created by AI up in Sweden. In Ireland, we're doing the kind of send me a sample ads. And here in the UK, obviously, we've been creating smart speaker skills for some time now, which we'll talk about in a minute. But we all know, and what I'm sure you've been hearing this morning, is that's really just the tip of the iceberg. Every day, there's new tools, there's new experiences that we're hearing about. And I'm sure many of us in the room have been playing with Spotify's new AI DJ. And just a couple of days ago, Switzerland Public Broadcasting Service did a big stunt of from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. They created a radio station. They had the synthetic presenters. A lot of the music was created by AI. So, there's lots of that noise going around. But I think, as you were saying, Harriet, what makes radio different and why it's lasted so long is that human connection, and that that being human-centered is really our superpower, and we can't forget that. So, creating those true moments of connection take real thought, take real experimentation. So, what excites me, I think we heard just a few sessions ago, is more those everyday AI tools that will help us with our workflow to help our users free up so they can work on the creative side and create those moments. And I think that's where I find the real interest for me lies. And then smart speakers, of course, are opening up lots of new areas as well, which we'll touch on. But we have to make sure we're taking our listeners on that AI journey. So we know that. Okay. I wasn't sure the slides were being done. We know that, I think it's, sorry, I just lost myself. 66% of smart speaker users listen to radio every week, and that's the main reason they have their device. And we know at Bauer that 20% of our overall listening now is on smart speakers, which is 70% of our overall digital listening. But conversely, only 18% of people believe that AI will have a positive impact on our society. So how do we authentically transfer that trust in radio as we move more into the world of AI?
So how do you do that? Can you touch on some of those challenges?
Well, one of our challenges in radio is that we have to make sure that our listeners can find their favorite radio stations, find their favorite piece of content, where they want it and how they want it. So, one of the things for us is that smart speakers and voice assistants need to be regulated to prevent that unfair market imbalance, and also to prevent that or protect that consumer choice. For me, in the role I with being in charge of distribution, one of the things is that we're not really in charge of we're not in control of our own destiny, let's say. So, with that majority of digital listening now on those smart speakers, that's a platform that we don't own. So how do we make sure that we're giving our users the best possible user experience? So that's creating really strong relationships with those tech giants, which we have, and from day one, from when they rolled out in about 2018, our innovations lab have been working really closely with the likes of Amazon and Google to make sure we're getting the best out of those platforms, because it's like building on shifting sands. And I think even Amazon are really aware of what's the potential is of the AI and what those can do. So we're always finding those new moments and being really innovative on those platforms.
And Paul, how are technology changes impacting what you do at Absolute Radio?
So Buggles once sang that video killed the radio star. They didn't. AI won't kill the radio star either.
Yes.
But you're fine. Your next contract is safe for now. But what actually AI can do is really help make radio content live beyond the traditional time bands of radio shows. So to give you an example, and I'll kind of get to it, but explain it first. On the Absolute Radio Breakfast Show every morning, Dave Berry plays a game with listeners called 5 Words, 5 Grand. And what that is basically, if a listener, Dave will say a word, so he may say up. The listener says the first word that comes into their head, which is probably down. And if that then matches with the presenter, who also plays the game, they win £5,000. We also play it with celebrities. So here to give you a bit of a laugh is Liam Gallagher playing 5 Words, 5 Grand on the radio.
Liam Gallagher?
Yeah.
The first word that pops into your mind when I say up.
Down.
Pint.
Yes, please.
Sun. S-U-N.
Bunch of full of all right nonsense. Yeah. That's more than words, right? Should I start again? Let's do the sun again.
Sun. S-U-N.
Shine.
Hand.
I could be here all day, mate. Can we close the curtains and order curry in that? Just watch a film.
And finally, slide.
In, baby.
Now,
Did all that go out on it?
no, that was all pre-recorded. You never take Liam Gallagher
Yeah,
live. First
yeah.
rule of radio.
Yeah.
So that gives you a little bit of an example as to what the game is. But actually, we know that listeners love playing it in the car. We know that listeners love playing it with their kids because whether you're 3 or 90, you can play that game. So my job is to try and make the breakfast show and the radio live beyond the linear broadcast. So what we did was we made a smart speaker game where actually the listeners could play along. Dave spent hours and hours recording all the different connotations. And then actually listeners can play it. We've been told loads of stories of people playing it at parties because actually it's about using AI as a shared experience, not just a personal experience. You know, Dave has now delivered 5 million words to listeners on Smart Speaker, which is an incredible statistic. And again, just making sure that people know that the radio lives beyond that time.
Can you also touch on the relationship you have with brands at Absolute and how you're bringing them on the AI journey?
Sure. I think brands are always really keen to be integrated into the editorial, really embedded within what we do and what we say on the radio. And actually, Nectar and Sainsbury's came on board, and they are currently partnering with us on a version of 5 Words, 5 Grand on our smart speaker game. I don't want to say Alexa, because every time I say Alexa, she normally goes off. And I realise I'm actually in a safe space to say the word Alexa for once. So you can actually ask Alexa to open 5 Words game and play it. And Sainsbury's is doing a version of that with Nectar, where it's 5 words, 1 million Nectar points. So again, brands always want digital innovation. And it's for us finding new ways to be able to deliver that within the products.
We have a similar thing on Magic Breakfast I do with Ronan Keating. We did a thing with our sponsors of the breakfast show on the beach, and we did a game whereby they can play a game with us on Alexa and win a trip to Dubai. So again, yeah, it's incorporating brands into what we do. And I suppose and what we focus on is, as you say, it's another relationship with your audience.
Yep.
It's another way to find a connection with them. Shana, what does the science say about the impact AI is having on audio advertising?
Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting. So there was a NeuroInsight research that said that if a user says the brand name back to smart speaker, there's a 30% uplift in brain activity compared to a regular ad. So we know that this works and has an impact. And also when you think about from a content point of view, that about 44% of Echo users said that they really enjoyed when they can ask their smart speaker for more information after they hear a song on the radio. So that's other areas that we're looking to roll out. So it's kind of, there's lots of opportunities there, whether it's from an advertiser point of view or presenters, to increase really that interactivity and that connectivity with our listeners.
And I think one of the adverts, certainly on Absolute at the moment that we're playing, that uses that and uses that perfectly is an advert for Cancer Research UK, where there is a direct call to action. I think we can hear it.
Maybe.
Should be able to hear it. Come on, Josh, click faster. We won't, we'll move on. Basically, what happens is it's actually talking about Race for Life. And it says, if you want to find out more and find out more in your area about Race for Life, ask your smart speaker to do it. And again, radio is about immediacy. Radio is also about actually, if you've got to think, remember the website, then go to the website and then log on to the website and find out more. But actually, the joy of radio is its immediacy and actually being able to just say it back, again, delivers for the clients that moment of actually it's a connection, it's an engagement. People are more likely to act if they can act there and then.
Shana, there are some incredible opportunities available right now. What's on the horizon for audio and AI?
I mean, where to begin? It's, I mean, the honest answer is that, and terrifying but exciting, is that we honestly don't know. And really all we can do is keep trying little things and sending out little green shoots and seeing what sticks. But, you know, for example, the improvements in synthetic voice might allow us to create our own bespoke voice assistants. They could have helped Dave Barry with all of those thousands of words he had to say.
They wouldn't have done it as well. Just protecting the radio presenter.
No, never mind, I didn't say that. But that kind of bespoke voice assistant, which would then encourage and improve that kind of, again, that connectivity with listeners. There's so many, you know, interactive ads, interactive skills that are kind of coming up daily from ideas from our content team. So it's really just finding the partners, both the tech giants, but also the advertisers, to continue testing those boundaries.
And Paul, how do you see this AI future impacting radio?
Well, I think, as Shana says, from a commercial perspective, AI and smart speakers allow us to supercharge what radio does best, which is the human connection, to be able to act immediately, to be able to target geographically, to be able to target based on all forms of demographic, even change the accents on different adverts that are served to different parts of the UK. It won't actually change radio in terms of what people listen for. They listen for that human connection. And again, most radio stations in the UK this morning started their 8 o'clock hour with a tribute to Tina Turner from a presenter who was talking passionately about Tina Turner and what she brought to all of our lives. You don't get that anywhere else apart from radio. So we'll be protected with that, but what it allows us to do is find new ways to elicit content, to build that relationship and to take it, you know, to the next level, I think.
Thank you both very much. Thank you so much for listening to us. If you would like to get in touch with us, I believe there are details on the screen. You can do that. But it's very exciting, the future of AI, and we look forward to working with it and with you all. Thank you very much.